Okay, thanks, Clinton. All sorted.
Yeah, there we go. Enjoy your TR.
Thanks very much. Okay,
Okay.
good stuff. Go well. Okay, hi guys. It's just been almost going to wait till half past. Yeah, share the screen now. Don't have to introduce myself. I think everyone knows who I am now. Morning, Quinton. Good morning to you. I don't know if you've been here before. Just a quick introduction. My name is Roger. I'm licensed with a, regulatory body, FSCA, to advise. This is a trading room. It's not a class per se, so we interact and we look for new trades and we discuss strategies and that sort of thing. Okay. Yeah. So if you want, you can verbally interact, or you can just post in the chat line, and we take it from there. So it's like an informal gathering, if you like. Okay. Being a trading room, it's not a class, just remember. Okay, it's just left. Okay. Okay, so just a second, let's get that in. It's a trading room. It's not a class, so it's assumed everyone can operate the platform to place trades and have done a couple of classes, so they know what a CFD is and what a derivative is, which they all are, and forex, etc. On a lot sizes. So if you're completely new, you might find it a bit confusing here. You just need to get the basics, but interaction's the name of the game. Okay. Just give it another couple of minutes and then we can get started. I've got this chart up for any other reason. It just happens to be open at the moment. So no particular relevance, just happen to have it there. Okay, just coming up to half past. Okay, half past, we get started. Okay, right. I'm not quite sure what we can talk about today because I doubt we're going to get any trades out. If we find or you find we like it, that would be great. But we had a morning meeting amongst ourselves, as always, and I couldn't find one, nor could any other guys. It's basically might be a fairly quiet trading room today. Remember, we've got a lot of economic fundamentals coming out. Powell speak tonight, interest rate decision, ADP, jobs coming out at 2:15. Tomorrow's, as you know, is the weekly jobless claims. A couple of interest rates coming out. Friday is the non-farm payrolls. People are very skittish and nervous. That being said, I just let Madeira in. We can have a look at that with pleasure. That being said, the market is extremely confusing. Okay, you're looking to buy, might be an idea, but let's just see. Short term, 4 hour. Yeah, it looked like a possible buy. I just want to read something out because if you're confused, trust me, so am I. I just copied and pasted it from an analyst. It says, this is not a correlated market. Okay, the US dollar is down and crude oil is up, which is normal. But the 30-year T bond is trading higher. The financials should always correlate with the US dollar, such that if the dollar is higher, then the bond should lower and vice versa. That includes the stock market indices. That is not happening. The S&P higher and crude oil is trading higher, which is not correlated. Gold is trading higher, which is correlated with the US dollar trading down. No, it's not. It's the gold is not trading down. It's come off a little bit. Sure, it's been going up lately, even though the dollar's been strengthening. I tend to believe that gold has an inverse relationship with the US dollar. I think we all know that, as when the US dollar is down, gold tends to rise in value and vice versa. Think of a seesaw. When one is when one is up, the other should be down. One point this I point this out to you to make you aware that when we don't have a correlated market, it means something is wrong. That's the base of what I'm trying to say. We're not having a correlated market, something is wrong. As traders, you need to be aware of this and proceed with your eyes wide open. Okay. So, bottom line is, this is very strange at the moment. I'm not trying to shelve blame if a trade goes wrong. I'm not going to take much accolades if it goes right, come to think at the moment. It is very, very strange indeed. We'll come to something in a moment. I just want to use the EURAUD. The buy area there, I would say, is of high likelihood. That's 100 pips. That's not too bad, actually, a bit more than I expected. And a stop loss down here, maybe just down here somewhere. Can we get it down? If we get it down there, we're going to take a wider TP. I do see the upside, but I want to be confirming a bounce off the 50-day moving average plus the support as where it is at the moment. So there's two things at the moment. It's on support and at the 50-day moving average, acting also as support. Just let these guys in. So, yep, I see your vision. In fact, I agree with it. Just going to quickly check the weekly longer term for you. Bit of indecisive. That's been normal for the week. And 4 hour looks like it's going to bounce there to give a third upside. 1 hour is slightly negative, but that's very short term. Bottom line is, I think it might be an idea, Mike and company, to just wait to see if we can get a bit of a bounce. On the very short term, are we going to get it? I don't see any confirmation as such at the moment. So I think probably be more prudent to wait. In a more understandable market, for want of a better word is, I would think, yeah, we could probably take the risk of going in now and put a TP in for a likely bounce. Why I'm being a bit more strict on the confirmation than sometimes I normally would be is simply because the markets are a bit of a very strange, a go figure scenario. So, Mike, I agree with the vision, but personally, I think I will personally, I don't know if anyone else agrees with me, should just wait for a bounce to be a little bit more comfortable with it. Having said that, I expect not a lot of volatility, probably a lot of sideways motion going into the big fundamentals coming out. The US markets do affect the world, and it's not just the US coming out, there's other stuff coming out as well. So today, tomorrow, and Friday, I'm expecting a bit of a drifting up and down scenario. Prepared to be bored for a trader, and rather than get bored looking for a trade that doesn't exist and jumping in, because yes, we need a bit of patience. Rather be careful, to be honest, on that basis. Okay, because I say you've got to have some sense out of it. You've got to have some rationality. Basically, it's like a guy's had too much to drink. Rather let him sleep it off and chat to him the next day. The market's a little bit like that. Okay. So yep, I agree with the long. I like the euro. I prefer it to the AUD. The buy and sell seem to back that up. I just think it might be an idea to wait for a bit more confirmation. Having said that, do you want to go in now or do you want to wait a little bit of confirmation? What do you think, Mike? Do you want to wait a bit of confirmation? Do you want to put an RR up? Anybody want to? Are you already in it? Okay, well, fair enough then. No problem with that. Anyone want to join Mike in this? I'll put an R up if you want. Morning, Cecil. Anybody want to join Mike in this one, or go wait for confirmation, or leave it alone, or sell it? In fact, I put an R up if somebody wants to trade on this particular instrument. Okay, fine, Marcus. Let's have a look then. Maybe I'm being overcautious after the higgledy-piggledy Mark's had lately. What am I doing? Sorry. Morning, okay, let's see. We can put the stop a little bit more out of the way. If we put it right down here, my only problem is you've got to take the TP up here. If you want a tighter TP, say so, then you have a type of stop loss to make the risk reward worthwhile. 168.33. Make it 168.30. Why is that happening? Just knock it off a second. Even though calculator's not cooperating, hey. Just put it just down there and 1.6830. Got it this time. That's not going to work, so maybe shift this up a little bit. It's a bit of a squeeze. If you want a wider TP, you can certainly do that to make it worth your while. But remember, not always everyone's on board the TP. On that subject, by the way, yesterday's trade, the EUR-JPY hit the take profit, hit the targets. That was quite good news. So yeah, that worked out quite well. So we went in Monday, I think it was, and yeah, hit the TP last night or this morning or whatever. So that's quite good news. At least that worked out beautifully. I was a bit iffy about it, unfortunately, but it actually turned out surprised me it did so well. Okay, so yeah, that sort of might be okay. If you want a tighter TP or tighter stop loss, just say so. But that's what we're looking at. Who wants to do this? We've already got one person in, as in Mike. Who else wants to do it? Let me know if you would. Are you doing it? I'll write it down if you're doing it. Maybe just checking it through first. I'll give you a moment, and then you can tell me if you're doing it or not. Very iffy. It's just it's uncorrelated. It's one of those things that it's yeah yeah. It's very very strange. We'll look at a couple of things in a moment. Are you going with this, Gerard or Reno or anybody? I need two people other than Mike to do it. But I'll write it down. I'm not, but maybe I'm just a bit scared of the market at the moment. Plus, I'm pretty heavy committed already. I've got quite a few own positions. It's just not performing. Not quite sure why. I read a weekly analyst who's a UK guy, and he's been right so far. This time, this is the one to be buying. And well, I agree with him. I'm just diving because he says so. But It's not seeming to be happening at the moment, but anyway, I'm hanging on in there. I hope it's going to come to the party. But are you doing it? What I need to know, guys, are you doing it or not? I need two guys say yes, I'll write it down. If not, I'll move on. Okay, Cecil. Okay. Nope. Are you doing it? Leave it alone. I hear. Thank you, Zeph. What about yourself, Marcus? What about yourself? Are you doing it? Just need a little bit of feedback before we move on. Reno, do you want to do it? Marcus, are you doing it? Just let me know if you're holding up the class. Just let me know. KKK. What's that mean? Not any yeses out of that. Okay, fair enough. Though we'll move along. Okay, let's just check. You see, we haven't really got confirmation. See, it popped up. Sellers came in. You see, it's just no sideways, like I say. Our times rather keep the powder keg dry, as they say. Okay, now I want to show you something which had quite a bit of confusion. We're talking about dollar strength just now on the DXY dollar strength. No problem there. 260, just over about 270 pips. All right. Number one, why is it so much? Number two, remember we talked twice it's happened at Japanese government intervention around about the 150 mark. Why is it pushing so higher? What makes you say they're not going to intervene again? And why is it so radical upwards? Let's take another one. Let's take it. They're pretty similar. Let's take it out. Let's try the GBP CAD. See what that's got to say for itself. Again, that went up, but not as drastically. Oh, that's the wrong one. GBP USD, sorry. The Japanese yen, total indecision. Now, this is the one that really is a go figure. Okay, look what happened. The Japanese yen weakened against a stronger dollar. One of the most iffy currencies going at the moment is the rand. Daily, we're hearing economic issues going on out there. The Transnet wants 130 billion. I'm not sure we're going to get it from. We got the what you call it, Minister of Finance speaking today. You know, Dong Won. He's speaking. The ifs and buts in there. Having said that, the dollar strengthened. Japanese yen shot up. One of the weakest currencies going strengthened as the dollar went down yesterday. You see where I'm coming from? That's exactly what I'm saying here. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Busy look at the chart and see that. Right, there you are. You make sense of that, guys. All right, it's rising up now, but that's certainly the last hour or so. That's why when that happens, I say, it could be actually, good point there, but could well be. But you can market manipulate the rand, but not the yen, unless you have a big government intervention. And we didn't have one. So individuals are not big enough because the liquidity is so large. So yeah, when these sort of things happen, I can't see any rationality. As I say, wait till the market sobers up tomorrow morning. You get the idea. A lot of people say that. At first, I tell most of that's a tongue-in-cheek in jest, but it might do. We're emotional people. Maybe thought, hey, we've got a euphoria going on at the moment. Maybe life's not so bad. Trouble is, we're going to wake up the next day with a hangover because, unfortunately, the economic problems are still there. They haven't gone away. So, yeah. Anyway, that's why I got confused. I'm going to go to 50 minutes. You decide to wake it up literally about half an hour ago. Why now? I do not know. That's why I'm saying I'm very skeptical at the moment. Very cautious. Excuse me. Okay. Right. So there we are. Will the Swiss franc continue to weaken for no? Okay. So there we are. Sorry to be there, but I'm just saying it as it is. If somebody can see, oh, that's the big reason. I think it's just well, so again, it's uncorrelated. That makes no sense. The tip for the stock market indices. So what did the indices do? They went up. Okay, it's just back to front. Gold, I suppose you can forgive a bit because of the Middle East situation, but even so, it is, yeah, like I said, in terms of coming up today, starting at 2 o'clock, quite right. But that's a being as it may, see what happens. So yeah, that might dance around a little bit, but the staying point is that's today. This is yesterday. Look at that. Rand strengthened the hell out of, and the end went exactly the opposite way, despite the feared intervention. And all due respect, despite their debt level, that's the sort of much healthier economy we've got over here. Even though our debt levels, percentage-wise, not obviously amounts, a much bigger economy there, percentage levels are a lot less. The big problem coming today is we're squeeze more money from. We have to pay as it's just a small middle class are paying it. There's no more to be squeezed. Okay, so it'd be interesting to see how he's going to work this one out. Okay, so that's why I'm confused. I went through all of them today, and I can't see something jump to me I feel confident about. I felt very confident about buying the Swiss franc, and the opposite occurred. So I'm a little bit wary, to say the least. Okay, so if you want to discuss any strategies or any trades you're actually in and want to go over them, fair enough. We can do that. Okay, thank you for that, Gertrude. I'm just getting back. We had a trade idea out for the NVDA, one of the strongest stocks on the market, producing a product everyone wants, i.e. silicon chips. Here we are. Okay, that came right down here as the market, as what you call it, the Nasdaq went up, being part of the Nasdaq. It's not Apple, but it's still $1 trillion company, plus minus, and then decided to come all the way down before jumping up again. Where's the sense in that? Yeah. We talk about oil. Is anyone still in this trade? That came off yesterday. Flirt with a stop loss, should still be in. I didn't take it because I was in Brent and I got stopped out. I must have made a profit on Brent because I modified my stop. But I was still in Brent at the time, so I didn't take this one. So as far as I can see, it got pretty close to the stop, but I think you guys should be in it. Again, it's very, very strange all the way around. Okay. Yep. Did hit the stop loss. I thought it might have just missed it by a cent. Okay, fair enough. But yeah, so our times, I will put my arms. I'm sorry about that or whatever. This time, it's just, well, I don't know, just a bit of bad luck, I suppose. I'm sorry if it costs you money. It's all very well, but I'm not going to try and make up a fancy reason like doing these finance articles justifying everything. All that, why they say so in the first place. No, I'm just saying our times stand aside. Okay. Not having quite the moment. Another one is when you see the Dow going up, the Nas going down, or vice versa. Then you know it's there's a lot of confusion out there. It could well be, Ebenezer. It could well be. I'm not going to say you're wrong. I'm not going to say you're right at this stage of the game. I will say, though, that I doubt we're going to get a much lower oil price simply because the Saudis might start cutting back again. Okay? They don't want oil round about the 75, 70 mark. They want it above 80. They've been quite plain on that. And they can manipulate by open closing the tap. But oil, gold, yes, but oil is more rational. Gold is fear. Oil is just, well, they're the big suppliers. Okay. Yeah. Theory should be coming off. Remember, Canadian biggest trading partner by far is America. So if America gets a stronger dollar, not always, but Canada usually follows suit. Just bear that in mind. Not exactly the same, but it's just a similar area. It's a certain correlation. although we have an uncorrelated market at the moment. Right. What do I think is going to happen here? I haven't got a cooking clue. There you are, Pope. No idea. Look at yesterday's candle going nowhere, the day before going nowhere. It bounced today, it started going up, then the sellers came in. Um, I can't make a guess on that. In theory, I would say this might get a little bit of downside with the dollar strength, which will follow the Canadians, but I'm certainly not going to be confident till it either breaks that 100-day moving average or we see a weaker dollar coming up from interest rates or non-farms. Then I'll just buy the AUD simply because the weaker dollar on the US side would probably drag the Canadian down with it. If you don't want to buy it, if you want to sell it, go ahead. If you leave it, go ahead. That's how I'm not confident to go into this at all for those reasons. They were slightly down, quite hard, exactly. That's also a good point, actually. Fair enough, that's a fair point. Yes, the Chinese is still spluttering a bit, and as you know, it's the biggest import of oil in the world by far, and that might have had a lack of demand, could have put it down a bit. That's a fair comment. Okay, but going back to this one, I don't see a confirmation here at all. Never mind, I'm a bit wary about funny markets the last couple of days. Let's take that out of the equation. Let's take everything out. Let's make this a trading time. There's no trends. There's no fundamentals coming out. I would difficult to guess which way at the moment. As you can see there, the buyers and sellers don't know either. That's why it's just going sideways. Let's look at the weekly just to get any idea on that. Not really. Look at the 4-hour. Pretty much the same. What is the range on the 4-hour? 20 odd pips. Too difficult to call. There's too many ifs and buts on that one. But that's what I think. Basically, I don't know. Ha! Sorry about that. Oh, Edwin, beg your pardon. Before we go into DCAD, sorry about Edwin, I missed that. Trust me, Edwin, my butt's been kicked pretty hard. In fact, most people butts have been kicked pretty hard. If you read stuff out there, whether you look at Bloomberg or anyguy.investing.com, they're really batting to find something here. It really is. I think it's emotional driven market at the moment. Not so much sense in it. But that apart, we'll look at that one in a minute, Edwin. But this one here, I'm going to leave it definitely. Anyone disagree with me? Anyone think this is a buy or a sell? I've given my view. I haven't said a buy or sell. I just my views leave alone at the moment. Anybody, we need to interact here. I need you to participate so I know what you're learning and finding stuff and understanding stuff. So yeah, I need that. Thanks, Gerard. Anybody else see a trade here? And then have you confident enough to tell me why? I'd love to hear it. I might learn. Remember, we did say not a buy or a sell. He says, what's your view? That's a fair question. I give my view. Empo, I think if it gets confirmation, I see likelihood more down than upside. I agree with you, but there's a lot of fundies coming out which could change the course completely. Be aware of that. Yep. Yeah, fine, Empo. If you want to do it. No, we're not. No, if you want to get the recording, guys, just go to the live chat and go to general inquiries and ask for the link. And they'll send the YouTube link. Okay, where was I? Yeah. So confirmation, I'm just saying it's likely the downside, but then again, doesn't mean to say that it's a trade idea, far from it. Okay, what was the other one? NZD CAD? Similar, probably similar. Doubt it's getting much difference on that one. Where is it now? Just going to check. I think I missed somebody there. NZD CAD. Second. Oh, you're a JPY. That's right. Okay, NZD CAD, similar situation. Is it like to go further up? I think, personally speaking, if the fundies weren't around, it's about this level here. I think probably like to trade it down here somewhere. It's only 40 pips, not enough on it. If you no, there's just not enough meat in the bones. That to me is even weirder scenario. Look at that range on the daily. 4 days, nothing there. I think you bought it or sold it. I think you could end up losing your money one way or the other. Stay out is about the best thing you can do. think AUD, I'm not sure of this. I'm sure I'm not going to do it. Definitely not a trade there. Okay, Euro JPY. That's the one where we had, no, hang on. That's the one we hit the target. Remember, guys? We had a trade idea out on that one. And yeah, that hit the target. I think mainly because of sudden weakness in Japanese yen. I think maybe the guy was talking there or whatever. Or maybe I didn't hear anything, being held back on we won't do intervention till higher up. I don't know. But bottom line is, yeah, hit the target. We got the right side of that one. Do you think it's going to pull back? Well, I don't see why it should. Unless you get intervention, why should it? I think it's going to meander around about there, maybe pull back a bit further, and then maybe push up. It's very difficult to call. What do you think, Ebenezer or Gerald or Gertrude? And you guys, Cecil, you've traded before. What do you think? Do you see a short down here back to the 50-day, or do you think it's going to just hover around here and push further up? Anybody join in, by the way? I've just mentioned that because I know those guys have traded before. Edwin, you know, the guy, you know. What do you think? I think it's going to hover around. Yeah, that's exactly what I think. Let's
Hi,
do
Roger.
shorter term ones on that. Let's do the weekly. That tells you much, yeah. 4 hour? Yeah. Oh, yeah, go for it, sir.
Is the euro correlating with the GBP? Yes.
Good question, actually, that. Very good question, because when they're in they retain their currency, but before Brexit, it was very much so. A little bit. It's still a bigger trading partner. It's still a big trading partner.
If that's the case,
Although,
if that's
again,
the
they've
case,
increased their things a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. But
if the,
the major thing, to answer your question, is remember, Eurozone's made up of many different economies. Go on.
well, if that's the
Yeah,
case, I'll
many
think that
different
it's gonna,
economies.
I think we're gonna have an uptrend on this one.
The Germans in recession, but the French and a factor. Say again?
Well, I'm saying in that instance, I think for the better parts of the day, we're gonna have an uptrend on this Euro JPY, because on my GBP JPY, it's a good uptrend. It's going up.
I see what you mean. Okay, I see what you mean. So it's on a fundamental basis. I take your point. Let's have a look then. Good idea. Yeah. Might have a point there. Might have a point there. Am I confident enough to go with it to trade it? Probably not, but it is a good point. Remember, we just hit the TP on that one's quite nice. What's a 15-minute say? Yeah, I'm sorry, Muzi. I take your point entirely. There's a little bit of correlation on the fundamental front, but I just think the UK is a bit more of a mess simply because their expenses are so high. Because all their social serves are costing them an arm and a leg. But it's not a bad point you got there. So I hear you. I still think I'm going with Gerard on this one. I think I'll still stand aside, even though it looks like some buyers are creeping in and there is a bit of support at this level. How far do you want to take it up? Let's look at a weekly. Let's look at a monthly. Yeah, we'll have to get a Fibonacci extension if you want to take it up on this one. Can't look at a previous high. That's a fair wax, 100 pips. I'm a bit gun shy at the moment, so I think. But I take your point. You see a pullback, Jimmy. Oh, how's it, Jimmy? And then I wait for confirmation to enter. I see a pullback. It could well pull back. I'm just looking at wick there. Is it going to pull back? Yeah. I mean, I have to wait for it. Ground zone on 4. That might be an idea. Yeah, maybe down here somewhere. Bit of a demand bouncing around here. And then you can enter with a stop loss and hold. Yeah, probably that. Okay. Before we go your GBP, yeah, summing it up, I've got too many doubts to go for the trade, but very good point. Well taken there, Lizzie. Okay, are we good with that, or do you still feel it's worth doing? I could well be wrong. And with no intervention as well, back on the yen, you're quite right. Okay, I think they're getting nervous as well. I'm certainly getting nervous of shorting the yen at the moment for that reason. GBP, JPY. Yep, it seems to be quite right. Seems to be. But when it gets here, how far away is that? 20 odd pips. That's not very much. That's on the 4 hour, to be fair. Yep, there we are. It's not enough to try and push it up again. Will it take that out? If it starts taking up even further, I think there's a likelihood the Japanese government might intervene. I'm not going to go for it. But I tend to be on your side there, Jimmy. Yeah. Before it's just Matomi up there, so I called you by your surname, excuse me. And I see Jimmy. Okay. It's the same person. Welcome back. Okay. Now, yeah. I made my peace. Euro GBP. Interesting, huh? Now that's quite interesting. I do back the Euro the GBP for number 1. No confirmation as yet. It could come down a bit further. Actually quite like the look of this one here. I'm a bit surprised. Didn't really get much. I quite like the look of this one, but are we getting confirmation? It might sit back to the 100 times 4. What's the hourly doing? Not much confirmation there. Not really on the 15. Remember, only 15 minutes ago, quarter to 10, went up and look immediately on open the candle, which is only 2 minutes old. It came off again. I think rather wait for confirmation. But if you can regain the 200, this might be a possibility. I agree. Well, what have we got on the upside? We've got enough meat on the bones? No, I haven't got enough meat on the bones on that. Look at that. Looks a lot, doesn't it? It's actually only 50 pips. And that's the spikes, not the body. I prefer looking at the body, really. And that's only 30 pips. Try the weekly. Just not enough meat on the bones. If we take it up there to get a risk reward, we're going back to April. That's 6, just over 6 months ago, around about 6.25 months. No, leave it alone. Sorry about that. It's a bit of a stat record this morning, I'm afraid. Let's say guys complain we don't get a signal out. There's reasons for it. Thank you, Gerard. There's reasons for it. And I'm sure you'll be happy just to send half a dozen and they all screw up. Just, for no particular reason. Okay, guys. Yeah, sorry to be so boring, but yeah, I've covered that. Everyone got the economic calendar? I think I'll just put it on just in case. You try and do that every time because I'm pretty sure everyone's got that. And I'm just going to put the dollar index on. I'm sure there's 1 or 2 people might not have that. Very important, obviously. If you all have, don't bother. Obviously, I'm just taking a chance you might not have it. There we are. I think you all got my number, but I'll put it down anyway. Roger Trading Support. My WhatsApp number, by the way. 061-529-3431. There we are. Okay, that's for people who have got funded accounts and not demo accounts. And if you've got 2.5 grand, please let me know. If you're not on my VIP list, I'll put you on free of charge. You just need 2.5 grand. That's the entrance fee, or more, obviously. Okay. Right. So, guys, anything we'd like to discuss this morning? Maybe we can use a bit of time valuably where you can actually learn something that you're not sure about. Spend a bit of time on that if you like. You have to take the trouble to come here. Yeah. Hope you all got
Hi,
a
Roger. Can I ask something?
For sure, of course, please.
Sorry, I'm busy driving. Tell me does this trading room run throughout the year, but not on the holidays? Surely you take a break at the end of the year.
Very good question. Thanks, Chris. We like to have a trading room open when the markets are open. Now, in America, you can't have the markets closed more than 3 days. So, example, let's say Christmas Day is on a Friday. I don't think it is. Let's say it is. Therefore, the market will be closed on Christmas Day and Saturday and Sunday. So by that, it means that it would have to be open for, let's say, on the Christmas Eve. Otherwise, you're going to have 4 days closed. What actually happens, to be honest, it's very quiet, and it normally closes at midday. So in other words, there will be, and it'll be very thin trading. Most of the guys on leave, but because the markets are open, some people will be trading. There will be a stockbroker at their desk. Normally, what happens is let's say it's a Christmas Eve and it falls on a Thursday. Because of the 3-day rule I've just mentioned, I would be doing it. Okay, simple as that. When the markets are open, you've got to have somebody there to assist you. But it's very thin, etc., and it might even close early anyway. Let's say we do 9:30, it might there's not much happening, dead as a doornail. We might do maybe close at 10:30 or even earlier, something like that. And the same with New Year or whatever. So yeah, there will be, I mean, the classes will be closed by then. There's certainly closing dates for classes, etc. But you've got to have somebody there where the markets are open. Often we've had a holiday here, like Heritage Day or whatever. But it might be a holiday here, but the international markets are open. So normally I will do a trading room day. Sometimes the company might say, go on, Roger, you have a day off, fair enough. We notify everybody, but technically speaking, there should be somebody here when the markets are open for the trading room.
Fantastic. Thank you, Roger.
Okay. Now, thank you, Reno, for checking out me. I want to go back to what you're saying there, Chris. Falls on a Monday, so it'll be Saturday, Sunday, and Monday will be a holiday. So that's not a problem, except for the fact it's going to be Boxing Day the following day, and that creates the problem. So they might have on the Tuesday a morning session, but what's it? Today's a Monday, so that'll be a 24th Sunday. 22nd is the Friday, and that'll be a normal day. So it'll won't be a half day trading. That'll be a normal open day on the 22nd is a Friday, but probably open just for half a day, just to abide by the rules, basically. Okay, it's like on Thanksgiving in the United States. They often have a hangover day the next day, if you like, just for those rulings. Okay, so just to make you aware of it. Okay, I hope we're all clear on that. Mine's a little bit, not computer, but my Wi-Fi, not my Wi-Fi, so my fiber being a bit unstable for some reason. I'm not quite sure why, because for the first time in a few days, we've got a lovely day out there. So you can't blame the weather today, so it's a bit strange. Anyway, any question on that, just go on. But thanks for the question. I want everyone to know that. I'm glad we're all on the page. Good question. Thank you. Right. Well, I'm not going to change my view just because the Swiss francs give me a bit of a torrid time at the moment. I'm still sticking to buy the franc. What's happening to the yen at the moment? I'm pretty scared of it, actually. Yeah, I'm just scared of going shorting the yen at the moment after that big rise. If it continues to weaken, it might not happen. It went up to 151 on the dollar from 150 without any intervention. But I'm worried if it gets out of hand, I'm pretty sure they will intervene. They even threaten to keep an eye on it for that reason. And that bit of fear there, I think, would have probably halted some of the traders selling off the yen. Maybe it's more a gamesmanship, if you like. So my view on this is still stick for the buy. Don't sell it. But I'm not sure I'd be buying it now. It come down to support. Could we got more upside at these heady levels? Might be, but I'm worried about intervention. If it comes back to the 165 like it did last time, then I'd be more comfortable with it. I'm out of that at the moment. I took a nice profit on it. Actually, a very good one, as a matter of fact. I'm out of it at the moment. Personally speaking, I would not sell it down. I'd wait for a pullback. I'd be a nerve to chase it this level here. And I think the Swiss franc might be waking up a bit as well. Let's look at the CAD CHF. Yeah, might be waking up a bit. That seems to be coming off. Let's look at the AUD. Where is this now? So just let these guys in. It might start to even that. I don't know what's going on. What's the NZD? What's Euro CHF? Might start to wake up a bit. The Swiss franc, that is. That's why it's coming down. And the NZD, will that be coming down? No, that's confusing me as well. So yeah, very confusing. Okay, fair enough. Is the rand still starting to weaken? No, it makes no sense at all. No, that I thought at last the rand was the dollar's waking up against the rand, but looks like not. We'll see. But yeah, I'm still not comfortable to be on the short side of the dollar or the Swiss franc at the moment, despite the fact I've got a bit of egg in my face for the last couple of days. Yeah, on the 15-minute, I'm just looking at momentum. Thanks, Phil. But out on purpose, I realize that. I just looking to see if any momentum. Look at the 15-minute if you like. I don't see much momentum. So that doesn't tell me a heck of a lot because it's too zoomed in. So I went to shorter term one. Yeah. If it just needs to break the 100-day, if it does that, I think you'll get a pretty rapid movement back up to 19 for some profit taking. But in theory, the dollar's still maintaining its strength at 106.70 on the DXY. So yeah, I don't know what's holding the rand up at the moment. And I don't think just be the BOCA. If you say so, Jimmy, braver man than me. If you're buying again and buy the South African rand against the almighty dollar, well, good for you. I might completely wrong. I've been wrong the last couple of days. Might be wrong again. What do you want to do, guys? Do you want to sell the dollar and buy the rand? Anybody else going along with Jimmy on that one? What's your views, guys, on that? What do you think, Chris? Unless you're driving, don't we get stopped by the cops? I presume you're going long. Is that right, Gerard? I see upside. Definitely see upside. You might get a better price. Might come back a bit. But I'm presuming you're not shorting it. I'm sure you're buying. Is that correct? Yeah, long. Thought so. Not. Jimmy wants to short it. I still prefer to be on the long side of it. What's it say on the hourly? Tell you what, you might miss it, but maybe get it there. Maybe get a little bit lower down. If it comes back to those sort of levels there, maybe you can take it. Yeah. I don't think it's wrong now at the moment. I'm just a bit gun shy at the moment. I feel being beaten about a little bit mentally, to be honest. Normally say don't miss out on that. What the hell if it comes back a couple? Clearly, the momentum should be up in theory, fundamentally everything, but maybe wait for a better price. I don't know. Yeah, that is. Maybe it's going momentum, Jim. I get that completely, which means it should be on the long side, not the short side. And don't forget as well, if the figures coming out the next 2-3 days, including interest rate, it could go completely awry. And that's fundamental. There's nothing to do about that. Do I think the interest rate will be increased tonight? Absolutely no, I don't. I don't know for certain. Nobody does. But I say there's a very, very high probability to be left alone. What is the issue? Is the ADP coming out, just a precursor non-farms, come out 2:15 today, and the Q&A afterwards, giving his view. Is he going to say, I can sort of just down my hawkish tone and say things are looking on good, jobs are picking up, but inflation is not picking up. It's doubt we're going to have another interest rate increase this year, and maybe if things continue in the direction, we might even have a decrease next year. That'll have a big effect on the dollar. So it's a Q&A afterwards. Okay. But yeah. So if you want to sell it, pleasure. If you want to buy it, I'm more pro the buy it around about the 1865 mark. Maybe 1864.50, something like that. But yeah, I don't know about you, Jimmy, but I think most of you are a bit confused as well. I'll wait for, oh, sorry, beg your pardon, Ebenezer. I'll wait for 18.39 to look for a long. 18.39. Let's have a look. Yeah, it could come right down here, I suppose, a possibility. But with the dollar as the moment, that makes no sense to me. I'm not saying a fundamental can't push it down. I get that. But what's giving the rand this strength against a raging dollar? What's happening so wonderful out there? I haven't read any in the newspapers say anything particularly brilliant's happening. If I was to sell, I'd execute at market because that's where it is. I'd go in at market. If I think it's going to come down, I'd go in at market. Okay, Jimmy. Yeah, Empire. If you're going to sell it, well, I'll go in at market. I'm certainly not. Well, I can't. I've got a long trade on at the moment anyway. Okay. Okay. Don't forget it's a fairly wide spread on this one as well. Costs about 30 pips. Quite hectic. Okay. That's correct. That's a good point. That's a very good point. Thank you. Yeah, to check the fundamental. I know it's all interest rate. I don't think it's going to happen, but having a look at it at 10 in 10 minutes. PMI, sorry, PMI. I thought it's interest rate coming out. Or was that maybe tomorrow? I thought it was interest rate coming out, but yeah. So PMI is coming out. Purchase Managing Index is coming out. Maybe tomorrow. I don't know, but yeah, could be something happening there for Swiss franc. That's a good point. We'll keep an eye on that. Okay. Right, let's have a quick look at what it's got to say there. Let's get this out of the way. Right, debt level, what's the view? Let's go to the NASDAQ now. Tell you now, I just want to read what Jim is saying first of all. Okay, read for sale. It's because NASDAQ composite big companies wants to recover their sales, but that they have made. So it's been upturned. So right back to this, it's good. It's just come down. So that's a bit of rationale behind that, I suppose. Yeah. But yeah, and sometimes you get a big company coming out with some good figures. I think Apple might have come out. That's a good point. Did Apple come out with good figures? That's what that's $3. Nothing major. That's not really going to drive it. It's too small. Okay. Yeah. I've been quite clear on this. I'm bearish. I'd rather be on the short side than NAS, rather than the long side. And as it tries to push up, the sellers seem to agree with me. They bring it in again. Again, we got indecision, and again, we got too many Nasdaq-related fundamentals coming out the next 2 or 3 days. So, including today, that is. So, I personally would not be going in the moment either way. It could jump up, jump down, anything could happen. There's too many interest rate, ADP, weekly jobless claims, and the non farms coming up on Friday. There's too many. You know what I'm saying? Shoots up in the mornings, not up, sorry, in the afternoon and the evening, it shoots down. A whiplash effect could occur tonight as well, depending what he says. I personally would leave the dollar and the NAS and the Dow alone at the moment with all these fundamentals coming out. It's tomorrow, is it? Thanks, Gerard. . That'll have a bit of effect, just the sheer size. It's the biggest company, see? I think it's even bigger than the Aramco, Saudi oil company. Market cap now is around about 3 trillion. Was it 4 trillion? I think one stage, 3 trillion, something like that. Amazing, eh? 3 trillion American dollars. Start off by a guy working out of his garage. Unbelievable. Anyway, that being as it may, I would definitely leave this alone. This is a major gamble at the moment. If you feel lucky, go for it. What do you think, Ebenezer? Edwin? Gertrude, you've been trading a bit. What do you think? Chris, what do you think?
I went in on the NAS yesterday and I made a bit of bob as it came down in the Dow Jones. But yeah, I'd leave it alone today.
Coming quite broken there. That's my side or yours. Coming very broken. Don't speak to me or having your own conversation. Became very broken there. You think about 3 p.m. Not quite sure why 3 p.m., but if you feel that way, fair enough. Remember, interest rate decisions at 8 o'clock tonight. And I think whatever it is, at 1%, leave it alone. There'll be some jumping around. Action. Sorry, it's going to be a volatility. I mean, yeah, for me, definitely LIA. Yeah. There always will be some jumping around when he speaks. Always will be. It's a perfect time to trade if you're scalping, I suppose. Jumps around, take it, jumps down again, grab it and take it, I suppose. Okay. Sorry to be so boring, guys. Anyone new here? It's not always like this. Often it's very exciting. I enjoy the trading room. I get moral support, I interact, get ideas, etc. Very important part of trading. But sometimes it's, you know, it's not a page turner at the moment. But we can discuss other things. If anyone wants to discuss something, a strategy or anything you join in on, we can do that. Okay. Anyone wants to do something like that, please let me know and we can look at something. Even a share, anything. I believe shares, well, not much choice in the matter, but even so, the market goes up a three, we've still got the interest rate coming. Somebody once said, why don't we do strategy in the trading room? Do it with pleasure if you want it. No, nothing happening there. Still nothing happening. Crazy. Still trying to wind up. Is that right? Can you elaborate a bit more on that? Too many strategies makes it more confusing. Rather have a simple, straightforward one. Stick to it. Well, you can not stick to it blindly. I mean, you can play around with a little bit, but overall strategy, rather have one. Jumping on the bus, jumping off every 5 seconds. Yeah, everyone's got their different moving averages. Everyone. I've no guys a 1521 who saw by it. Everyone's got their particular favorites. It's confusing. I just use the 250 because so many other people use it. No other reason. Nothing more clever than that. Okay. Looks like a coloring book. I've seen guys when the offices were open before COVID who come out of classes and they sat down with me at the days of trading mentor and they come out there and it was just covered in like a coloring book. It was just covered in stochastics and God knows what. And I was getting a bit confused. Never mind the guy just starting. And I said to him more than one occasion, "What do you make of that?" And they look at me slightly dumbfounded. That's what I taught in the class. But yeah, I know, but what you taught in the class to get some sort of strategy out of it. What's that telling you? Nothing at all. Just confusing issue. Not a good week for that reason as well, Cecil. Absolutely. But yeah, if you got your favorite moving averages, stick with it. But I still say have the 200 and the 50. And I quite like the 100. If you don't like the 10, put a 15 or a 20. That's up to you, or 8 or exponential, something like that. But the 15 to 200 is a must. If you haven't got that, guys, put it on simply because it's internationally used. Often articles, they'll bring it up. Wait for a bounce off the 200 or a pullback off the 50, that sort of thing. Very, very commonly used. Slightly less, but still fairly common as 100. 10, I quite like the 10, so I put it on there. Often it's an area where you're in a trade and till it breaks the 10-day, you might want to hold on to it as an area. Because remember, exiting a trade is probably the most difficult thing in trading. When do you get it? Because we all have this psychological aspect of getting out the top and buying at the bottom. Clearly, it doesn't really work that way. But it gives you some indication to hang on, hopefully, until you get a break to get out of it. Okay. And don't forget to save the charts in case you lose them. I hope you all know how to do that. Okay, if you don't, just say so. I expect the dollar yen, like most dollar, probably comes a bit of a grinding hole, a bit sideways. Have a quick look at the yen. 50-minute, yeah, a bit sideways. No surprise there. Probably the same with the rand at the moment. That's starting to pop up again. That's interesting. That's a bit of life of its own, that thing at the moment. That's for the 50-minute, of course, yeah. But get back to what you're saying, Cecil. Yeah, absolutely. Um, Be very wary of trading the dollar or the stock market at the moment. This slew of fund is coming out. Just be careful. Actually, talking about that, I think it was a euro. What was the euro AUD or something you were looking at earlier on? Which one was it? Or was the euro? What was it again? It wasn't that one. It's on the daily. Beg your pardon. It was a euro GBP, wasn't it? That's right. Yeah, you see what I mean? Wait for confirmation. Look at it. Just as well we
Yes,
waited there.
yes, I am GBPS waiting for it.
Yeah. Yeah, good enough. There we are. Wait for confirmation. It's still coming off. There we are. Good thing. Because I quite like the idea. I think it's Gerard's idea. I quite like the idea, but I'm waiting for confirmation on that. Yeah, we're all agreed on that. I think we might have a truncated session today, unless you guys want to interact on some specific area, because I don't want to rattle on telling you things you already know. If there's not many trades, you know your strategies, you know how to save charts, you know you've got your dollar index and economic calendar, you got my number and all the rest of it. Don't want to sit here and waffle. I'm quite happy to obviously do what is necessary, but I can't really add anything new on the subject. So if there's anything you need clarifying, please let me know and we'll do it. Otherwise, we might have a truncated session. That means a shortened session because I don't really want to listen to me waffling on for no purpose. And the temptation at the board and we tend to look for a trade that doesn't exist. Done that before. Is that right? Anything happened on it? Look, the euro's up in front of me. Hasn't been much reaction. It is. It's just down a bit. Yeah, that's true. The red means it's down. Doesn't mean it's minus 40. It's just down from the 45 expectation. But doesn't seem to have much action there. When it came out 1/2 past, let's have a look at the minute chart. Don't use it very often. That might give it a bit of. Yeah, it's only been open for a minute. Bloody thing. It's only bounced. Wow. Not even a pip. Squat. Ah, there we are. Getting a bit of reaction now. But still, that's not really drastic, is it? Bit late, eh? Came at 1/2 past. A minute later, it suddenly wakes up. No, it's not really telling us much. That's the minute chart, remember. So that's only, what, 2 pips. 5-minute chart. No, it's not telling me much. Yeah. Someone said bad news. I think it's going to be fairly irrelevant news on the effect of the buyers and sellers. Okay, guys. Anything else you want me to discuss, or should we wrap it up? Because I that's true, Gerard. Yeah, true. Don't think I'll take any more shocks this week. Yeah. Anything else you want to discuss, or should we wrap it up early, or anything like me? I'm quite happy to do it, but don't want to sit here and bore myself. Never mind you guys. But anything you want to? Ebenezer, you good? Edwin, Gertrude. Lovely. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Just wait. Hi, Zama. It's very, very quiet today on the trading market. You're good too. Okay, thanks, Muzzy. Zama, yeah, it's very quiet in the market this morning. There's too many ifs and buts, too many fundamentals. We haven't found a trade. I don't think we're going to get one today, maybe tomorrow. But if we don't get a trade out this week, sorry about that, guys. I'd rather not have a trade than have one that is going to bite. We've had a bit of a rough time of it lately. Although the Euro JPY did hit the TP, so I shouldn't really moan too much. But so we're going to wrap it up a little bit early. Okay. Thank you, Paul. Okay, Zama. Sorry to join in, but it's not much happening. I don't want to bore you guys either. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, don't forget Friday. Thank you, Vilna. We're going to do the not saddle. Get on board the saddle. Yeah, it's a straddle trade on Friday, 2 till 3, as per normal. I'll be doing on this Zoom ID, the Trade Room Zoom ID. If you want to join me, I'll be showing from about 2 o'clock to 2:20 for those who don't know the mechanics of the straddle trade, and then just give time for people to start placing it just before the dart release 2:30, and hope we get some decent movement either to the north or to the south. Okay, thanks. That's the point. I put it out, probably put it out again as a reminder on the Friday. But at this stage of the game, just as a quick reminder, yes, we're definitely doing a session. And the CPI, I think, is coming out not next week, but the week after. We'll do a session there as well, if you guys want to join. The last one did cut. Sometimes it doesn't work out like anything in trading, but the last one was the CPI, one of them anyway. It worked out quite nicely. We did okay on it. We might even just remind me tomorrow, have a discussion in the room here, what instrument we're going to use. Be a Euro dollar or Japanese yen or AUD or whatever it happens to be. I'll put a vote, and the one you like the most, I'll use that as when I'm doing this straddle trade on Friday. Okay, so it's normal 9:30 to 11, 5 days a week, etc. And except Christmas Day, which is on a Monday anyway. Yeah, so don't forget 9:30 to 11 tomorrow and Friday, and 2 till 3 o'clock as well. Oh, we're all good with that. The market, not the broker, yeah. The market maker, the broker. Sometimes you have just a broker there, and they have a liquidity provider, or have the market makers a broker, and they are the liquidity providers. Okay, so the spread is made by the business, which is the actual broker. Yeah. They tend to move in or out depending on volatility and volumes, more of the point. And yeah, depending on the book size as well. Very large book sizes, very large net worth guys on board. Probably slightly tighter than the guys of low net worth, just to make it a business. If you buy one pair of shoes off me once a year, you're going to pay a different price if you order, let's say, 1,000 pairs a week. In South Africa, the balances, because the savings problems, etc., are not that high. To stay in business, you've got to have a slightly higher markup. It's just one of those things. You can say, I'll go to one with less, but they often won't take your business. Okay. All good with that? Okay, Vilna. Hope it all makes sense. Hope that makes sense, Edwin. Yeah, not me, but the broker, the CEO looks at the business and they adjust the spreads accordingly. A lot of guys say, I want to go somewhere slightly tighter spread with pleasure, but they might request a minimum amount of money. And believe me, it won't be 1,000 rand, it'll be a lot more. That's exactly it, Edwin. That's exactly it. Okay, right. So it's very quiet, guys. So as said, we'll wrap it up and catch you tomorrow. And just hope we get a bit more interest tomorrow, but don't bank on it. It might be quiet going into Friday. Hopefully, the actual start, the big one on 2 o'clock, that might hopefully go to the end of the week with a decent profit on the straddle trade. So if you can make it there, again, please don't join if you're only on the demo. We're only taking 100 people. We don't want to let somebody not allow somebody in who wants to trade with a balance for those who don't have a balance or on a demo or whatever. So at least have some money to make use of the trade. Okay. Okay. All right, guys. Hopefully we get a nice one. Cheers, Cecil. Thanks again for your support, even the quiet times. Thank you, Zama. That's when I need you. Cheers.